What's up guys, YST here and welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. And today, we just got given some breaking news regarding a new Fusion champion. Starting on Thursday, February 9th, they'll be planning to launch this Fusion event of a new champion in Oella, who is the shining champion right above me, who looks absolutely amazing by the way. But one takeaway from this is, it just says fusion event, okay? Which leads me to believe that this will be a traditional style fusion, not a fragment style like we just seen with the Pythion. So you're gonna have to fuse the rares or the epic champions into the legendary and rank up all of those with ascensions and leveling up in the meantime before you fuse this champion. It is from the Sylvan Watchers, which we kind of expected. Legendary, of course, support base from the Magic Affinity. And it says that Oella will be a great champion for clearing both PvE content, especially the Iron Twins Fortress and the Hydra boss. So I'm really excited to deep dive into this and see if this kind of replicates what they said in the notes here that I've got on the left hand side. Also, straight after this, I'm going to be speaking about the guaranteed champion, which will be a Chagor, and the cost ratio of that, alongside the 10x champions that we are expecting upcoming for this weekend. So stay tuned for those straight after we break down the kit. But what an amazing aesthetic, guys. It looks really, really cool, right? Looks like a pixie, in a sense. It really suits the theme of the Sylvan Watchers with aesthetics and stuff. I really like it. So, alright. A1, Flutter Fluster. Flutter Fluster? Am I reading that right? Yeah, there we go. Attacks one enemy. Has a 100% chance of placing a 30% decrease speed debuff for 2 turns. Once you book that up with the book values right below, with a damage increase by 10% as well. And this debuff cannot be resisted if Oltan of the Shell is on the same team. So it looks like this champion is going to have a partner ability. And I really hope that it's not going to be a Void Lego, because that kind of sways my opinion on a champion, because we know how hard it is to get Void Legendaries. But we haven't been given any news of that as of now. But I do expect it in the near future, in an upcoming postal video, once we get those news. On the A2. Hand of Spring, 4-turn cooldown, bookable down to a 3-turn with a bonus 25% heal value. Can heal all allies by 30% of their max HP and increases the duration of all ally buffs by 1 turn. Very similar to Godseeker Iniri, Sandlash Survivor, Anchorai, or Valerie the Rare Champion in extending the value of those buffs. Now, I'm never a huge fan of their max HP. I always liked it to be based off this champion's max HP, because then you have full control and know how much heals are going on those champions at any given time. So that is one big takeaway of this A2 skill. But as a whole, AoE heal, increasing duration. Somebody like a Godseeker Iniri can pretty much do the same thing as a Void Epic champion, right? Because she's doing AoE heals and she's also increasing the duration. So very strong skill, but it's just something that we have seen before in the past, right? On the Morphosis, on a 6-turn cooldown, bookable down to a 3-turn, can fill the turn meters of all allies by 30%. Very strong here. Also places a 50% increased resistance buff on all allies for 2 turns, making this very, very cool for places like the Hydra boss or those Iron Twins Fortress teams if you go the resistance route, which I don't feel like any player base goes for, right? They kind of go block damage, unkillable route, or they go Geomancer with like Mithrala Lifebane or whatever that may be to take that boss down very quickly. But let me know, guys, am I wrong? Have any of you guys built up a team based on the resistance, the kind of way they wanted us to do it when the Iron Twins Fortress was first released? But it is a strong buff, right? It definitely is a strong buff, allowing you not to have as much resistance on your champions and still get resisted, granted you've got these up, right? So you can kind of lead in with the turn meter, increase resistance, then extend the value of it and heal on the A2, and then place the decreased speed on the A1. It's a nice synergy. I am a fan of the kit. I really am a fan of the kit. I think it pairs very well so far. But the thing that you cannot be resisted if Oltan is on the same team, you're going to have to build a bunch of accuracy on her, right? Unless you've got that partnership ability there. So building with accuracy and sustain and speed can kind of be a task for a vast majority of the player base out there. But once again, guys, this is just my first glance, right? Could turn out to be an amazing champion, and hopefully we do get some test server access to try out this new champion. On the Untrammeled with the passive skill, whenever an ally loses 15% or more of their max HP from a single hit, so hypothetically you get hit from the Demon Lord or the Hydra boss or the Iron Twins Fortress, let's just say, you can get a 15% heal there. will place that 50% continuous heal buff, on the ally for 1 turn, and places a 15% continuous heal buff for 2 turns on the ally, then instantly activates them when Ulton of the Shell is on the same team and can only occur once per ally per turn. So once again, guys, we're getting a true value from a partnership skill. Maybe, so basically this will be the Valentine fusion, right? It's gonna have that partnership ability. I understand what they're trying to do, right? But we have seen it before with things like Venus and Cupidus and the Void Legendary pairing with the normal Legendary. And I don't know, maybe they should have made the Guaranteed Champion the new champion to pair with this. I think that could have made a lot of sense instead of the Chagor, which it will be. But we have to wait and see on that regard, right? Aura increases ally resistance in dungeons by 75. I do wish this was all battle so it could be more universally used for places like the Hydra boss, like they stated in the little breakdown on my left-hand side. So, yeah. That is the kind of kit, guys. Let me know your thoughts on this, and will you be going for this champion fusion? Hopefully there will be some really cool epics on the way, in case you don't want to go for the legendary, or you just don't have the resources to do so. Just a little option out there, right? I don't know. I really do like the kit, but the pairing abilities kind of makes a... Because that was just non-resistible A1, and the way that it instantly activates with the passive really does add a big value to this kit. But on paper, filling turn meters, increasing duration, healing all allies, decrease speed, continuous heal passes upon hits. It does turn out to be a pretty cool champion. I'm a big fan of it, honestly. And I think it will help a vast majority of the player base. Granted, it's not going to kill your resources. Because for me personally, on my main account, I've got no shards left, okay? That's fine. They want us to spend. That's the aim of the game, right? Fusions after fusions, no cooling off periods, no time to think. So hopefully you guys can get very lucky with your clan boss runs or whatever that may be, right? But let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. So referring to the guaranteed event, it will be 110 void shards in order to get Chagor, the Lizardman champion, who is very, very cool, right? One of the best champions for the Sand Devils Necropolis. I know a lot of people like that champion. Let me just quickly find him. Because I have got one on my account that I am actually a big fan of Chagor. And I use him all of the time in my Doom Tower progression because he's one of the best CC champions. The way that he manipulates the A2, which can do an AoE ability, placing a poison debuff for 4 turns. And then the passive of Constant Agony will instantly attack enemies with their default skill whenever they receive damage from poison debuffs placed by this champion, which actually has a very high chance to place that steep with a Stupor A1. So very strong champion, but 110 void shards. Man, it is steep. It's steep, man. I don't know. That is very, very tedious, man. Like, guys, 110 void shards is a lot. I'll throw up here the chosen of how he's kind of broken out all of the champions. I don't know them off the top of my head. Just so you get a bit of a grasp of how the previous champions was. I believe Alil was some stupid amount as well. But it is what it is, guys. It is an option, okay? Like, they're not kind of forcing you, like, do this champion, right? Like, get this, spend your voids. It is an optional thing. And if you feel like Chagor's a champion that will affect your account dramatically, it's an option, right? He is a great champion. But if you're not looking to put him in a specific place in your account, just think twice about it, right? Because we do have this fusion coming up and you may need shards in order to complete that fusion if that's somebody that you feel will benefit your account more. But I'll leave that down to your guys' discretion. I don't know your guys' accounts, right? I just know from personal experience, I've had a lot of fun with him in Sand Devils, and I've had a lot of fun with him in the Doom Tower. And that is the 2 places that I would say he shines on my personal account where I've used him. But yeah, pretty cool champion, 110 void shards. And in terms of the 10x champions, if we just head into the index. So this Friday, February 3rd, they're planning to launch the 10x event to summon the following champions from Ancient, Sacreds, and Void Shards. Now, once again, guys, I do not highly recommend going for these champions or 10x events in general because they're very hard to proc in this game. It's just a pain. Like, did you see the 10x Chimera event I did? I had to summon 116 Chimeras. No, 116 Sacreds to get a Chimera on somebody's account. So that is the brute reality of something that can happen. So I'd say kind of maybe save your shards, potentially save them for the fusion or a 2x event or the guaranteed events, right? So this Friday, February 3rd, this weekend, it will be for Ursica Warcaller, an amazing champion that I use on a daily basis in my arena composition. With the Golden Guard passive, decreases the damage of all allies receives from critical hits by 30%. This champion will receive that damage instead. And the way that I built this champion is, I've tank up in a Guardian set, 120,000 HP, and I pretty much haven't booked any of the abilities, and just basically focusing on the passive. But she does bring in ally protection, strengthens, other debuffs, and is a very strong champion to be in the mix. So if you're going for the guaranteed champion, this could be somebody that you see on the way before you get your Chagor, if you're summoning and you get lucky, right? I'm going to quickly go through these as well. So Missionarchy, Shadowkin, you guys know how I feel about this dude. Absolute amazing champion for both Hydra Boss and Demon Lord, with the way that is passive of Curser of Curses. Whenever an ally attacks under a Hex debuff, has a 50-50 shot to join up with the ally's attack, which does have a burn on the A1 skill, alongside a drop defense, a decrease attack, and a Hex on his A3. So very strong champion. Next up will be in the Skinwalkers, and it'll be going by the name of Ragash. No, he's not from... Wait, where is he? Yeah, he's from the Skinwalkers. Where is he? There he is. So a previous guaranteed champion, right? So increased defense A1, hits pretty hard, lovely aesthetics, and one of those great champions that reminds me of King from Tekken. I love that dude. Next up will be Herndig from the Dwarfs. I personally like to use in the Dark Fae, but I know a lot of people like to do some campaign stuff with him for the Nightmare farming. So a very strong champion out there, depleting turn meters, AoE drop defense, A1 of granting extra turns as well, and reducing cooldowns. So very strong champion as well, 100%. Next up will be Madam Ceres, so one of the most sought after epic champions in this game. So once again, guys, if you are summoning for Chagor, somebody you can see on the way. So we've got Fear A1s, stealing of buffs as well, and also the drop defense and the decrease attack, and full out removing of debuffs on all enemies. Being one of the best abilities in this game for progressing in the classic arena, or the tag team arena, or progression in general. Next up, one of my favorite champions in terms of epics, it will be a Stag Knight with a decreased speed on the A1, which I use for Iron Twins Fortress. Decrease attack and decrease defense with a quirky passive to increase your accuracy if you do get resisted. And next one will be from the Sylvan Watchers faction in Miss Rider Dahi, who has attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of removing a random buff from a target and granting an extra turn. AoE drop defense, right? And grants an extra turn if the drop defense is placed on all enemies by this skill. And then also an increased attack and increased accuracy and extra turn mechanic. So very strong champion from the Sylvan Watchers there. And the final one will be the champion from the promo code that starter champions gets, or starter players, in Deacon Armstrong. The mini Lysandra effect with the fitting and decreasing of turn meter, granting the extra turn, leading into the drop defense, alongside a leech debuff to allow you to heal by 18% of the damage inflicted, which can heal from War Master procs. So once again, a very phenomenal champion in this event. So yeah, guys, that was all of the news for today. New fusion, guaranteed champions. Let me know your kind of thoughts on how crazy that is. And also the 10x champions for all of the other stuff. We'll end up here with a cheeky little ancient shard. I actually managed to do a Duchess the other day, or yesterday. I posted it in my community post. And if you guys did enjoy the video, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and tune into the live premiere of my episode 14 of the free-to-play series, coming around 1 to 2 hours after this one goes live. Peace.